virtue to have one's eye on the prize. In the case of Congressman Swalwell, his political aspirations have been made clear. However, when an elected leader can ignore the most elemental factors of human decency, when he is capable of looking away from people who are purposefully starved and then massacred as they scurry to get aid to feed their children, and in its place regurgitate the tired old Hasbara, which is the Zionist PR machine dictated by AIPAC, which serves a foreign country, in order to toe the line and stay in power, well, such a heartless person has no business being our representative. As stated, I have reached out to Congressman Swalwell numerous times. Years before October 7th, I had the opportunity to sit down with him for lunch and shared with him the horrendous injustice the Zionist state of Israel is committing against my people in Palestine. About the injustice that I, as an American-born citizen, experienced when visiting my ancestral land. The land to this day where my grandfather, 61 years after his death, is still revered as one of the most peaceful, humble, and meticulous farmers. A man who nurtured, loved, and was connected to his olive trees like they were his children. A man who was born long before the state of Israel was criminally created. And just last December, 3 months into this genocidal nightmare, I had the opportunity to address Congressman Swalwell in a virtual town hall meeting. I laid out more facts about the atrocities being committed and demanded he call for a ceasefire. But like most of our Zionist-controlled politicians, he deflected and patronized my pain, my horror, our absolute disgust with his position and support of this genocide.
Shame.
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 But no matter how many times I have reached out to Congressman Swalwell, his reply to me is the same. I am horrified, he tells me, by the atrocities committed by the terrorist organization Hamas. My wife Brittany and I visited Kibbutz Kfar Aza. As a father of 3 young children, it is unimaginable to think about what the families of these victims are experiencing. I grieve with them. America's top priority must be the immediate, safe return of all hostages held inside Gaza. It's important to inform you that Kibbutz Kfar Aza is a settlement just a mile or so east of the besieged Gaza Strip. It is built on stolen land that belongs to the refugees in Gaza. Honestly, the thought of my congressman fondly reminiscing on his visit to a settlement that is a stone's throw away from 2.3 million besieged, starved people is beyond nauseating. It's downright criminal.
Shame.
Nothing in his reply suggested that he has any compassion or concern for the millions of Palestinian people who have been under siege for the past 17 years in Gaza, or about the thousands of October 7ths committed against the Palestinians in the past century. For yes, Zionist terrorism began long before the UN partition of Palestine 75 years ago. First and foremost, his concern, his grief, is for the Israelis. Nothing, no concern or grief for the 30,000 killed, the tens of thousands orphaned, the millions starved, the wounded children with no surviving family. As a father of 3 young children, something is clearly wrong if he cannot show outrage, if he cannot call for an immediate ceasefire, if he cannot grieve for those poor babies in Gaza who are wounded, yet have no family members alive to care for them, no mother, No father, no brother, sister, aunt, uncle, or grandparent. Many are amputees, hungry and scared, alone in an unimaginable dystopian world. When Mr. Swalwell visited Kibbutz Kfar Aza, he may have arrived via the Ben Gurion airport. Ben Gurion was a Polish transplant who immigrated to Palestine and became the first prime minister of Israel in 1948. I quote him here. He said, "If I were an Arab leader, I would never sign an agreement with Israel. We have taken their country. There has been anti-Semitism, the Nazis, Hitler, Auschwitz. But was that their fault? They see but one thing. We have come and we have stolen their country. Why would they accept that? We are the aggressors," he continues, "and they are defending themselves. The country is theirs because they inhabit it." Even though Ben Gurion knew better, it did not stop him from his greedy criminal goals. Here's another quote from Ben Gurion. He said, "The present map of Palestine was drawn by the British mandate. The Jewish people have another map, which our youth and adults should strive to fulfill, from the Nile to the Euphrates." These quotes are readily available on the internet. I suggest our congressman read some history on the theft and the ethnic cleansing of Palestine.
That's right.
What more do we need to hear, to know, for our elected officials and all people who have been brainwashed by the Zionist PR machine occupying our media to see that Israel is nothing more than a colonial imperialist project? But truly, I've had enough. I have no more words for Congressman Swalwell. Words have been rendered meaningless. Congressman Swalwell's complicity, now culpability with this genocide, is attempting to render me, my people, all decent people, humanity meaningless. But we know better. We know that every accusation